Reporting live from the Toyota Lounge here at DNVR Studios, where Zach Stevens is seconds away from arriving in the building.
I'm here.
He's here. He's here. After Sean Payton had the longest post-practice presser of all time, and we're going to find out why. Why did Sean Payton want to talk for so long? Let's do it. He's here.
I'm back, baby.
Zach is here.
And Ryan, thank you for doing the hard work because, yes, we do have a delay of game on the DNVR Broncos podcast. And I'll tell you why after I give a shout out to the Toyota Lounge driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores inside the DNVR Bar. It just started sprinkling. It is August. That means football is next month. Feels like a little football weather. And I'll tell you what, Sean Payton is pumped about it. He is a happy dude, which I was shocked at.
I can't believe this. I'm so excited to hear more about this because I was in Boulder today, so I kind of have to switch my brain back and forth from Buffs to Broncos, and so I was very much in Buffs mode this morning. And then I'm getting a text from Zach like, show's probably going to be late. Sean Payton's having the longest press conference of all time, and then he texts me like 15 minutes later, and he's like, it's still going.
Yep. He no joke, gave 3 answers that were 5 minutes each.
Wow.
And so that takes up 15 minutes right there.
And speaking of the Buffs, like, Coach Prime is known for having a long press conference when he's in the mood for it, and he'll even tell the PR person, like, no, I'm good. I don't need to stop, because they'll be like, this is the last one. He's like, last one? No, I'm on a roll. I don't think he's ever gone 33 minutes in a normal setting. Like we've seen him do it in like a preseason, like, or end of season type of thing. But the fact that Sean Payton outlasted Coach Prime when it comes to a long press conference is pretty crazy.
And the crazy thing about this is actually kind of a bigger picture thing, Ryan. And it's something that you touched on when you were out at practice on Tuesday. And remind me about that practice compared to Wednesday's practice, if you're okay with me just breaking your heart one more time. But you noticed how Sean looks good. He at the podium, he seems very comfortable, happy. This is a different Sean Payton this year than we saw from last year, and definitely than we saw in the first year with Russell Wilson. I think it points to a bigger picture thing with Sean. So today, we still have not got a angry Sean, a pissed off Sean, a short Sean, outside of very specific questions that have been asked to him 2 times on the same day. Last Saturday.
What was the second one?
It was from the same internet show, but from a different person on that internet show. And Sean, the question, there wasn't really a question in there. And Sean said, let me know when I can talk. Can I answer now? Can I answer the question?
Oh.
Let me know. Yeah, it was brutal. And then the other one,
yep.
About the report that he actually just said, yeah. So those have been the only 2 moments of Sean being upset. And typically, Ryan, year 1 of Sean, I mean, he admitted it after the season. He was pissing on every tree, in his words. He wanted to mark his territory. He wanted to show who was boss. He wanted to know who were his guys and not his guys. So he came in here just tail hot that first year. It wasn't just to the media. It was to people on the business side of the operation. It was to coaches. It was to players as well, but it was very clear. And I thought I was in for 15 years of Sean Payton where you're on your toes every single day. You might get chewed out regardless. Last year, it was like, okay, Russ isn't here anymore. It feels a little better. Sean's a little better. This year, there have been no days where he has been short, where he has not wanted to talk. He's always in a good mood. And today would have been a day that he absolutely could have been in a terrible mood because of what had just happened on the field. In so many ways, this was a bad practice. It was a disastrous practice if you're an offensive coach. And Sean is an offensive coach. So we'll get to the practice part. But today, Sean gets up there after talking for 20 minutes yesterday, after talking for 20 minutes on Tuesday, after talking for 25 minutes on Monday, same thing on last Saturday. He only took one day off this week and not talking to the media. And he goes up there and sets a record. I got Christo Mason next to me, who's got the old school recording device that tells you how long it's been going. 28 minutes and 30 seconds. He nudges me and goes, we're about to hit a record. We're going to hit 30 minutes. And then at 32 minutes, he goes, we've definitely hit the record. It wraps up at 32:11. And it's just because Sean loves this team. Loves it. Believes in them. Loves the people, loves the organization, loves what's going on across the practice fields with the new building facility, which also there's a little bit of news with today. But he truly loves it, and he actually said it today. He said, I love this team. Malcom Roach after said it's special. There's something contagious about this team. We heard this last year when no one believed in the Broncos, outside of us. But no one believed in the Broncos outside of that building and in the DNVR bar. They said there was something special going on. And like it was us against the world. Well, they were right about that. They made the playoffs. Now it's a different vibe of like, yeah, we know that it's not just special, that it's really special now.
Yeah, absolutely. You've heard the phrase happy wife, happy life.
Oh, yes. It's true.
That's because, and most people, maybe not everyone wants to admit this, the wife is the head coach of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, she's calling the plays. She's organizing the offense. Maybe you're like an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But the head coach is happy. Everyone's happy. And I mean, I remember so specifically, I'm not going to name names here, but there was a coach at CU, and he went on like a strict diet.
Oh, no.
And
that's
it
not
made
good.
him in such a bad mood. And I just remember people in the building, like everyone was miserable.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is just an ass. Like, they literally just kept saying, bring back the Chick-fil-A version of him who ate Chick-fil-A like every day. And it's so true. I mean, and that's probably true of any company or household or whatever. Like, if you go into a company and your boss is in a bad mood every day,
yep,
you're not having a good time.
No.
Everyone's just like kind of getting in there, hoping not to make eye contact, get their work done, and get out.
Yep.
And I think Sean Payton is one of the harder ones to get him in this like a multi-week good mood.
Yes.
Out of Sean Payton.
Yes.
Something special is happening, and everyone is going to benefit from it, and everyone is going to be a little bit more themselves and a little bit more free. And in the end, it all comes back to the fact of confidence. You just don't get this out of Sean Payton without an immense amount of confidence. And like, I'll just say it. I think that he can feel that he's going to win another Super Bowl with this group of players. And I think that's why he's in such a great mood. And maybe it's this year, maybe it's another year. But I think he's like, oh, I have all the tools that I need to win a Super Bowl. This is awesome. I'm going to win 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams. Like, let's go.
And then become a first ballot Hall of Famer, the first head coach in NFL history to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. Chad in the Toyota chat says, Zach is fired up. Damn right, I'm fired up. Ryan, I just spent 5 hours on a practice field, 5 straight hours, and it was incredible. But that just shows how much there is to talk about, and courtesy of Sean for the delay of game for this, because he just kept talking and talking. There's good news, there's bad news, there's interesting news to get to from the Broncos, from
was
mostly
that our segment
from the
in
field.
London? Good, bad, and interesting.
Yes. It was. Do you remember one of your interestings?
No. Oh, I remember saying maybe there's a bad that the stalls are so small.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally about the width of this chair.
Yeah, and then not comfortable, and then it makes it hot. And last thing you want in a stall is hot and humid. Today it was not hot and humid. Tomorrow, got to give a few quick shout outs. Tomorrow, you guys have to tune in with us right around 2. If Sean talks for a long time, might be 2:30. But tomorrow's going to be a little bit of a shorter practice, but it's going to be a scrimmage. And scrimmage format, which means it's not just going to be 60 minutes on the clock. Okay, go play football. It's going to be, we're going to put you in situations.
Move the ball,
Move the ball. You start at the 50. Then we'll put you back at the 25 and see where you can go. Ryan, the Broncos ended practice today with a true move the ball situation. It was the first real move the ball situation that we've had. I think the offense or defense won?
Defense.
You're right about that. We'll get to the specifics, though, of that. So tomorrow is going to be an awesome show. We're going to be live on Saturday, despite it being a weekend because the Broncos are out there. Tonight, come to the DNVR Bar, 6:30 p.m. We've got Benny's Film Room. It's going to be an awesome time, going to be so unique. You can RSVP for that at thednvr.com/events, or I'm sure at this point you can just show up as well.
Please do, too.
Yes.
We'll be here
Yep.
hanging out. I'll be having drinks.
Yep. I absolutely love it. One more thing, just because we're talking about press conferences, we'll actually hear one answer from Malcom Roach really quick. But before we dive into practice, when you were talking, it reminded me of something Malcom Roach said on the podium. We got maybe the most honest answer from a player ever when talking to Malcom Roach. We know he's the guy that likes to chirp a lot. He thanked us for letting us talk to him on the podium today because he's that sort of guy. He gave an answer where it was asked about, like, man, a lot of guys are getting paid on this defense. How is the defense? Are you playing for yourself to, like, go get your money? He said, oh, no, if we keep doing what we're doing, all of us are getting paid.
That part.
But it might not be here. And he said, I don't really care. He said, I love Denver. I love the Broncos. If they want to pay me, I'm going to absolutely love it. If they can't pay me, they don't want to pay me, someone else is going to pay me. I'm going to love that too.
Yeah.
So it was just such an honest answer.
True.
Right there. And also it speaks to just like they're not playing for the individual contracts on this defense specifically. And you're seeing Pat Surtain get a $100 million contract. Zach Allen should sign a $100 million contract any minute now. John Franklin-Meyer clearly wants his money. DJ Jones just got a raise from this past season. Malcom Roach is entering the final year of his deal, and they're not playing for their individual contracts because they know, like, this defense lights it up. We're all going to be playing good.
100%. I mean, oftentimes it's actually something that teams get wrong, is grabbing a player off an all-time elite defense and thinking they're going to do that for you. Like, with all due respect to Malik Jackson, he actually did have one really good season in Jacksonville. But other than that, like, having Derek Wolfe and Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware around him and Sylvester Williams even is going to make a guy look better.
Right.
Like, that's just how it works. But when you are part of such a great defense, you're going to put up the stats that get you paid.
Yep.
Like, even if you're Malcom Roach, who isn't going to be necessarily a stat grabber, you're going to be able to go watch that defense and say, oh, man, he did his job, play in and play out. Guess what? Because he doesn't have to try to do anything else. He just has to go out there and do his job. But I think when you don't have what they have, you lose this effect. Because when guys look around at their defense and they're like, that guy's ass, that guy doesn't know what he's doing, this guy doesn't even know the play, then they're like, I just got to go get mine. Because I got to get out of here, one, and two, I got to make sure that at the end of the season, my stats look good.
Right.
But when you have this, you get like this teamwork effect where it's just like, guys, if everyone does their job, we're going to have the best defense in the NFL, and everyone's getting paid, and we're going to win a lot of games.
Yep, I love it. And speaking of winning, the defensive side destroyed the offense today. Let's dive into what happened, the good, the bad. And Ryan, there was ugly today, very ugly. Probably the ugliest practice that I've seen this training camp. And we're going to dive into the details after I give a shout out to our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. We're talking about winning. If you want just a winning team for your roof, Red Hawk Roofing is the truth. And Ryan, how much do you know about roofing?
0.
Yeah, I know nothing either. So, like, you really have to hire a company that you trust and believe in because
It's like when you go to the auto shop.
Oh
You don't
my
know
gosh.
anything about it, like they're going to rake you over the coals.
100%, and you're not going to know if they did it right or wrong.
Yep.
No, roofing the exact same thing. I'm sure every roofing company is going to put a literal roof over your house, or else you'll be like, no, this job isn't done right. But you got to get someone that you trust because you don't know what they're doing, and Red Hawk Roofing is the best roofers out there, and they've been big fans and supporters of us. So they're going to do the job right. Supporting local businesses means supporting us. It means supporting Red Hawk Roofing. And if you want to get a free no obligation roof and property inspection, free in-depth photo reports for all your inspections, give them a call at 720-771-8921. Make sure to tell them that DNVR sent you. You can also check them out over at Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or give them a call at 720-771-8921.
Edward Wright in the comments said, success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. And I think that's why we're here today, Zach.
Yes.
You guys know just from looking at Zach, he never loses enthusiasm. And I'm a very positive person
Yes,
too.
you
But
are.
back in the day, we had a lot of failures as a company, as we were growing, and like the people, the core, never lost enthusiasm. But I mean, we were working on 1099s, trying to figure out if we could turn this into a real company. And back then, if we were trying to buy a house, we would have had no chance. Because we didn't have that sustained income
Incredible segue.
that they are looking at. And thankfully now, if you're in a position like we were, trying to keep enthusiasm during failures, but you're still growing a company and you're still making money, you have an opportunity to get a mortgage with our friends over at Cake Mortgage. And I have so much respect for Cake Mortgage for being able to give people this opportunity and believing in the entrepreneurs and the small business owners out there that I think make our country great. So shout out to our friends over at Cake Mortgage, and you can head over to Eat Cake. That is 1-800-EAT-CAKE or cakehome.com. I got lost in the copy here.
Got lost in the cake.
To hit up our friends over at Cake Mortgage and get a Cake Mortgage loan of your own. Cake Mortgage Group, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, Ryan, I'm gonna let you choose. You want the good, bad, or ugly? We're gonna hit them all, but which one do you want first?
I mean, I'm an optimist. Give me the good first.
Give you the good. I love that. Pat Surtain had a pick in practice today. Talanoa Hufanga had a pick in practice today. This defense, you thought, and we thought, and everyone thought, this defense was good, great, elite leading up to today. Today they were even better because today not only do we see an incredible pass rush and a stout defense that doesn't let a ball carrier get further than 2 yards down the line of scrimmage, that makes every completion Bo Nix has extremely difficult, but we saw a playmaking defense. And we've talked about for months now, if this defense wants to have a name next to them, like the no-fly zone, like the Super Bowl 50 defense, you can't just be giving up 13 points per game. You got to be giving up 13 points per game and scoring a touchdown every other game. Having a strip sack like Von Miller did against the Minnesota Vikings in the regular season in 2015 to lock down the Broncos win. You have to do that. And today we saw it big time for the first time this camp in Talanoa Hufanga. Talanoa.
There you go.
Saying the name.
I'm saying it
Talanoa
perfectly, too.
Hufanga was the one to get the first interception off of Bo Nix in camp today. And it wasn't just luck. It wasn't a batted ball. It was a play that essentially made Sean Payton's jaw drop to the floor and said, that's why we signed this guy, because
Didn't he say
he is special.
that play was sick?
I couldn't believe it.
That's an actual quote.
He said, he talked about it, and then he goes, right before ending, goes, that was sick.
Yeah.
And the media laughed, and he kind of looked at us. He didn't say this, but he looked at us like, why are you guys laughing? It's like, because you're saying you're saying something sick. That's awesome. It's hilarious.
You just used like a phrase that we've never heard you use before.
Yes,
and caught us off guard.
Exactly. And so let me take you through that interception. Bo, pressure coming. So immediately, I mean, he just throws this ball within a second and a half, 2 seconds, trying to find, I don't know if the person was 10 yards downfield, 20 yards downfield, but he puts it low. And right when he throws the ball, because it's a low pass, you see 20 hands in the air. The defensive line does a great job putting their hands in the air. The linebackers do a great job. And out of nowhere, Hufanga's there with the ball in his hands. Sean Payton said from the time the ball left Bo Nix's hand to when Hufanga picked it off, about 5-10 yards down the line of scrimmage, Hufanga had gone 8 yards. He said that is what makes him so unique and rare, is his instincts. He knows where the ball is going to go. He's always around the ball, and boy, was he. And because he was moving at, 8 yards per second, according to Sean there, he was flying. Right when he caught it, boom, to the house. 35-yard, pick 6 for the Broncos defense. He went crazy. The defense went absolutely crazy.
Were they clowning Bo?
They were more so celebrating with themselves, right? I think they have too much respect to do that to Bo right now. Because we've seen other quarterbacks in the past get clowned.
I have a few things I want to say. First of all, were you by Henry when this happened?
I was not, no.
Okay.
Did you get his reaction?
No, I just know that Henry must have just been like, this is exactly what we're hoping we would get from Talanoa. Because when you watch his all-pro season, that's the type of stuff he was doing. I mean, his breaking on the ball, his instincts, his anticipation are kind of what made him special there. So hearing that makes me really happy that Talanoa Hufanga is like the real version of himself.
Yep.
The other thing goes back to what you were talking about with the 2015 defense. And I think it's crazy that this happens today because I was driving up to Boulder with Jake Schwanitz today, who, I don't know if you guys know this, Jake is probably the biggest Broncos fan at DNVR.
Big time.
There's a lot of us who are big Broncos fans here, but Jake's like mental health rests
Yes.
on how the Broncos do week in and week out. And I was telling him like, this defense is absolutely insane, bro. And we started talking about 2015 and I was like, well, the one thing that you just can't quantify at this time of year is like, are they going to be able to turn the ball over at that rate? It felt like that 2015 defense was not just making turnovers, but clutch turnovers. And the way I described it to him is it's like, we've all been there when we're watching the drive and you're just like, please, if there's someone up there, can we get a turnover right now?
Yeah.
And every time they were in that situation, they got those turnovers.
Yeah.
So who knows if they're able to replicate that during the season. But it is nice to see them start to do it in practice. And then my last kind of bit on this, which we're going to probably talk more about Bo and the offense in a second, is coming into today, I actually saw Benny Fowler tweet this. Bo had 0 picks, and you just mentioned it. And I was thinking about it when I read Benny's post today. Like, I'd like to see Bo test the waters a little bit more. Like, protecting the ball, I know Bo is going to be able to do that anytime he wants. Yep. He's really good at protecting the ball. He has been really since he got to Oregon. But I kind of want my quarterback in training camp to be like, oh, I can make that pass. Or on the other side, oh, I can't make that pass. Like, just a little reminder for myself, like, if I'm this late, don't throw it. And so this is big time spin zone that you can only do when you really believe in the quarterback. But I kind of want I don't think I would like it if I found out that Bo had 0 interceptions all of training camp. Like, just kind of reset your meter and just say, like, okay, what can I get away with? And especially, like, if you can get away with that against this defense, you can get away with it against almost any defense.
And so what's interesting, Ryan, is coaches will say, yes, I want training camp to be about testing your limits, just like you're saying. And then other coaches will say, no, let's practice how we're going to play. Sean was actually asked that exact question today by our friend Zach Bai on how he wants Bo. Like, could that interception actually not be the worst thing in the world? And Sean essentially said, like, he didn't use these words, but he was like, no, let's practice how we want to play. And so maybe it actually is good news that Bo hasn't thrown an interception up to this point. Man, so many things that you just said there were so good. Can't even remember the things that I wanted.
Talanoa being Talanoa, turning the ball over.
Yep.
And Bo, stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm happy that Bo did stretch it. That first one, the first interception with Hufanga, I don't really know if it was Bo's fault because when a guy makes a sick play, that is going to happen in games. Josh Allen won MVP last year. He's going to make a play that's not a bad play on his part that the defense just makes a sick play against, and it turns into a fumble or an incompletion or a pick 6 or something like that. So I credit that more to Hufanga. The next pick from Bo, well, this is still good. So Pat Surtain made a really nice play, and this was part of the ugly too, and we'll just dive into it on both sides. I don't know, the worst play that Bo has made in training camp so far. Really not the only bad decision. Actually, in terms of a decision, because we've talked about how Bo has had a couple of interceptions drop off of players' hands and probably should have had them earlier, but one of them is Devon Vele turning the other way from Bo. Benny said that's always on the receiver, so that wasn't Bo's fault. Another one, I think a receiver slipped and it hit a guy right in the hands and he dropped it. not a bad decision. But this one, I don't know what the heck Bo was thinking. Pat Surtain is covering Courtland Sutton 40, 50 yards down the field in the end zone with Hufanga on him. Double covered court, and one of them's Pat. Never, ever, ever, ever throw the ball unless it's a Hail Mary situation, and you absolutely have to. He lobs it up, and Pat makes a good play. There was just no chance Court was ever going to catch this. Pat catches it. He might have taken it to the house, but he at least would have got back to the 50-yard line. So good play from Pat Surtain there. So that's the good from practice today.
By the way,
turnovers.
I could have told Bo before that play that that's not in your bag.
No.
That's not one that I can write off to testing your limits.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You're 100% right. So maybe Bo has kind of been testing the waters a little bit, but doing it how Sean wants in terms of like, just don't do things like that. Do
you want to finish and then I ask you a question, or can I ask you a question?
Ask the question. We're good. What's the question?
The question is,
really quick, do you know where that quote was from? Obviously it's from Sean Payton. Do you know the context? Because I forgot until this training camp when I rehashed it with some people.
What's the question?
Sean's worst moment of coaching this team.
No, I forget it.
70-20. After the Broncos lost by 50 points to the Dolphins, our friend Crystal Mason essentially didn't have a question. So Sean was right with this. Chris was essentially just like, historic loss, like really bad. And Sean was like, what's the question? And essentially Chris was like, do you know how bad it was? but he just kept saying like, it was such a historically terrible loss. And Sean's coming out of the locker room after just screaming at the team. What's the question?
That's funny.
Yep.
The question for me is, are you ready to consider a little ones versus twos like I've been suggesting?
It's a good question, but no, I'm not ready for it. That would be embarrassing, I think, for the offense if you have to give them that. Now, tomorrow, it's a scrimmage format. They might do ones versus twos because it's a totally different sort of practice. So Sean can write it off as no, this was a different practice. So we're doing things differently right now. So maybe we see it tomorrow, but no. In terms of overall, that would be too embarrassing.
The reason why I'm just going to put this out there one more time, and I know Sean Payton's not listening, so if you could forward
I don't know,
the message.
internet shows.
Yeah, I almost feel like the offense might be pressing a little bit now, because they're just not having any success. And, it's day after day. You guys are coming in here, and even the day that I was there is like, oh, they just got absolutely dominated by the defense. Like, eventually you're going to start saying, like, okay, we have to make something happen. Like, Bo Nix doesn't throw the ball up into double coverage against Pat Surtain unless he's just, like, trying to make something happen, trying to see, like, let's see if Courtland can go make an acrobatic play and kind of get us something going. So I just think, and I'm not the coach, so it doesn't matter what I think, but I just think that maybe getting them a little bit of rhythm, letting them go down and hopefully, make quick work of the second team defense and go score a touchdown will like settle them in a little bit.
So Sean might have tried to do that at the end of practice, Ryan, but not ones versus twos, but giving the offense a situation where they could get a little bit of momentum. Who has the advantage here? This is the first true situation period the Broncos have done in training camp so far. Minute 48 left in the game. Offense is down 6 points. At their own 25, they have one timeout.
How much time?
Minute 48.
Yeah, the offense, I think has the advantage there.
So
I don't know. It's pretty close because they do have to score a touchdown.
I agree. They do have to score a touchdown, but it's pretty close. But you know what the offense should be able to put together some first downs, right? At least, because you think the defense is playing, not prevent, but a little bit of give them cushion, keep them inbounds, tackle them. They're okay with those sort of things. So that was the situation at practice. And let me take you through what happened after I gave a shout out to our friends over at... It's our really good friends over at Game Time, where Broncos season starts next month. We got the Rams, we got the Buffs, we got college football back this month. And if you're going to go to games, which you should, you got to use our friends over at Game Time. make sure to check the all-in pricing, which you're not going to be surprised at the end when you get to checkout and your tickets are double the price. No, Game Time just does the all-in pricing, includes the fees in there. And if you use the code DNVR over at Game Time, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Go to the App Store, download the Game Time app, and then use that code DNVR to get $20 off your first purchase. There's so many events coming up right now. It's still concert season. It's still baseball season, if you believe in the Rockies. And it is soon to be football season on Saturday and Sunday. Make sure to get your tickets over with our friends at Game Time. Download the app, use that code DNVR. What time is it? Game time.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Raising Cane's, the best in the business when it comes to chicken fingers. Always hot, always crispy. The cane sauce is always, what's the word I would look for there?
Delicious.
Zesty.
Yes.
And it's just on point every single time I go over to Raising Cane's. One thing that I kind of look for in a fast food establishment is consistency. There's some places you go and it's like depending on the town you go to or depending on wherever, you're just going to get a different quality. That is not true of our friends over at Raising Cane's. It's always the same no matter where I've had it, and it's always really, really good. So order at raisingcanes.com or on the Cane's mobile app. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
So, Ryan, Sean gives the offense an opportunity to redeem themselves at the end of practice because up until this point, maybe give her to a pass here or there, but I think Bo Nix had as many completions in a couple of team periods leading up to this point to the offense as he did to the defense. So not a good sign for where the offense was. And Ryan, that wasn't even the ugly of practice. That was the bad of practice, is how the offense looked, specifically the passing game. And then we get to this team period at the end of practice. Minute 48 left, one timeout. Offense has to go 75 yards because they're down 6. And the very first play, Bo Nix looks good. Hits Courtland Sutton in the middle of the field for 10 yards. Courtland immediately puts the ball down. First down. Next play, Nick Bonitto trying to sack Bo Nix. Jumps off sides. Free play. You hear Bo scream, free play. So guys run down the field. Ends up being an interception. Doesn't count. Doesn't matter because it was a free play. Bo Nix knew that going in. So 1st and 5 from their own 40. There's like still a minute 35 left on the clock. So plenty of time. Broncos offense doing a good job. 60 yards away. Bo scrambles out of bounds for 1 yard. Okay, not the best, not the worst, though. You're still alive. 2nd and 4. He hits Courtland Sutton for a first down about 5 yards down the field. But in the middle of the field, so they hurry up. He does a great job. This might have been Bo's best play of the day. He does a great job looking the defense off to the right. J.K. Dobbins wide open to the left. He hits J.K. J.K. runs for a couple more yards before going out of bounds. So there's still over a minute left. And Broncos have now passed the 50-yard line. So it's looking good for the offense right now. And then he hits Jaleel in the middle of the field. He would have been destroyed by Hufanga. Like absolutely destroyed. So it's good that this wasn't a hitting practice. Stays inbounds. Broncos then get to the 39-yard line or 34-yard line. Offsides by Garrett Bowles. So go backwards. That's about the worst thing that can happen in these situations. So I think the Broncos also had to burn a timeout so that clock didn't run. So that just absolutely destroyed the drive there. So it looks like the Broncos offense, we're going to be talking about Bo bouncing back from a tough day. And then from there, it was Broncos weren't able to do anything. 1st and 15 from the 39. Bonitto has a near sack. Deep throw to Marvin Mims, but it was broken up / out of bounds by Riley Moss in coverage. The next one, maybe a sack, incompletion. And then Ryan, let's go from the bad. We haven't truly got to the bad, but to the ugly right now because this final play, I think there's 18 seconds left. 3rd and 15 from their 39. Courtland Sutton, Riley Moss down the right side of the field. Bo throws a prayer to Courtland Sutton. Riley Moss in great coverage. Incomplete, but flags on Riley Moss for pass interference. Broncos offense is down to the 1-yard line. Should be 1st and goal from the 1 with like 10 seconds left. Broncos offense has a chance to win the game, but there was a flag behind the line of scrimmage. The Broncos, I believe it was Mike McGlinchey, jumped off sides, or it was either holding, but also might have been offside or offensive offsides or false start because flags were the story of the day for the offense. And that is just the perfect example of how today went. The Broncos offense had a chance to beat this defense, go 75 yards down the field against a starting defense, and a flag brought it back, ended it. They did a Hail Mary, and it resulted in absolutely nothing.
There's some good and bad there.
Yeah, there is.
I like the fact that they moved the ball.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, moving the ball against this defense, even 25 yards, is an impressive feat. But the penalties, I mean, that's the difference between a good and a bad team is great, or at least a good and a great team. Great teams don't get penalties in situations like that.
No.
So, I don't know. If you're going to correct it, you got time to correct it, but
It's true.
I'm just happy they moved it because I thought you were going to say 75 yards, 4 and out.
Yeah, no. Thank goodness that wasn't the case. That was the case with Jared Stidham. I believe it was a 2 and out. Stiddy threw a pick to Damari Mathis on the second play. So that was over very quickly for the second team offense. But Ryan, let's get into the ugly here. And it was penalties. Officials were out there yesterday and today from the NFL. So they're throwing flags as they see them because they're also getting practice. And then they want the Broncos to get practice of like, okay, what's an actual flag or not? And today was maybe the worst I've ever seen in terms of flags from an offensive standpoint. It was really, really bad. And that's why I thought, not the picks from Bo. I didn't think the picks from Bo were going to make Sean pissed at the podium. I thought flags that the offense had, especially pre-snap flags, was gonna make Sean in a really bad mood talking to us. And he wasn't, because he just likes this team. He believes in this team. He thinks they're going to be able to move on from these mistakes. But the play of the day from the offensive standpoint, before that final stretch, it was 3rd and 4. You have Pat Bryant working against Pat Surtain on the left side. Pat Bryant makes a great move on Pat Surtain, 5 yards down the field, turns around, catches the ball, first down on Pat Surtain. Pat Bryant was lined up incorrectly, so flag, doesn't matter. You just beat Pat Surtain. The Rook beat Pat Surtain for a first down on 3rd and 4, and it doesn't matter because of the penalty that he had not lining up right. That was killer. And Ryan, that started a disastrous string of penalties for the Broncos. So that was the first penalty. The next 3 plays, all false starts. Broncos don't even get a snap off. 4 penalties in a row. They successfully run a play the next play, then another false start. So this
5 out of 6?
5 out of 6. Now, this was in combination of first and second team. So just normally the first team's plays ran out, so the second team took over, and that was all there. And Sean, not the happiest camper, but also not as angry as I would have expected a head coach, especially an offensive guy, to be at this point. So 5 and 6 plays. After the 6th one, before Jared Stidham's time's up, he still has a couple more plays. Sean yanks him. Not just Jared, but the entire second team offense yanks him off the field, puts Sam Ehlinger back out there, lets Sam Ehlinger and the third team do his thing. Then he puts the second team out there. It was so bad that he had to yank an entire unit.
I'm going to go back to this point. Why do you think they're cheating?
Well, exactly. 100%, because they know how good that defense is.
Because they're getting smoked.
Yes. And it's false starts. So it's because the defensive front seven is so good that they feel like they need that extra jump.
Yes, I just think they need some rhythm. I know iron sharpens iron and all this stuff, but they're pressing. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to figure out where can I gain an advantage. What was your mom's old quote about cheating?
Oh, yeah. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Exactly. Oh, cheaters are leaders.
Cheaters are leaders. There we go.
I guess you had a couple.
I think that they're pressing right now because they're really struggling to get stuff going, and I don't blame anyone. And if you're constantly getting beat off the first step, you're going to try to get your first step a little quicker.
Yep.
If you're constantly getting beat around the edge, you're going to grab some jersey to try and, just hopefully you get away with it and you make something happen. And so it's not good. You don't ever 5 and 6 plays. If I was a coach, practice is over.
Yeah.
It's just conditioning the rest of the practice.
Yes.
That's asinine. But it's understandable to me that the offense is just trying to figure out a way to to gain a little bit of advantage because they're having a hard time right now.
Yeah, and it was actually crazy. The best throw, I believe, in 7-on-7s, Bo Nix hit Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin, another good day. It would have been a really good day with this, but he's called for OPI because he's pushing off Riley Moss there. So it was just a sloppy day from the offense, but one that we can joke about today because it's happened once in 10 practices. If it happens again tomorrow, that's going to be concerning then. And Sean Payton made it very clear, like, okay, we have officials out here. They want to get working, so they're throwing flags. And he said, I told the team, I don't want to be yelling at the officials. So don't give me a reason to yell at the officials. He wasn't yelling at them today, but he means in a game. He doesn't want to be arguing with them, and he said that's something we have to get cleaned up. He said the ones during play are going to happen. You're going to have the OPIs, the DPIs. Those are going to happen. You want to clean them up as much as possible, but the ones that absolutely have to be cleaned up are the pre-snap ones, and that just happened way too much today. Hurt them in a very crunch time situation at the end of the day. So that was the ugly for today. I'm not concerned because the defense is probably going to have a bad day in some way at some point in training camp. Today
No,
it was
aren't.
yeah, probably not. not this. Most defenses would. And today it was just the offense needing to get things straightened out. So that's a big thing to watch tomorrow. Are they sloppy again? And if so, okay, once is what? You can forget about
Coincidence?
it. Yeah, and twice is a trend. Exactly.
I think it's usually 3 times.
What's twice? A pattern?
Or maybe 3 times is a pattern, twice is a trend.
Twice is a trend? Okay, something like that. Yeah. So we don't want to see it tomorrow. That's when it won't be necessarily laughing about. But so that was the ugly in practice. And Ryan, the bad, I mean, I pretty much talked about it as well. Just the offense not able to do much. Like I said, going into that final team period, I believe Bo Nix had as many legal completions to the defense as he did to the offense, which is concerning. There were a couple of good runs, but for the most part, Ryan, this defense is so good. And back to Malcom Roach really quick, just about the defense. And Stella asks, any update on Dre Greenlaw? Yes, we do have an update. I'll get to that in just a second. But back to Malcom Roach really quick. He calls himself the 6th man on the defensive line. And he prides himself in that. And
6th man of the year, let's go.
Exactly. And so we asked him about it, and he said... he talked to, is it Lou Williams in the NBA who's won 6th man of the year many times? He said he talked to Lou Williams about this mindset. And Lou Williams said, yeah, if you're good, even if you're coming off the bench, you're still going to put up as many shots as you want. And he said, Malcom Roach said, if I'm playing 40 to 60 snaps, I'm getting all of the opportunities that I need. So if I'm sitting on the bench because it means we got good guys in front of us, why should I care about that? I'm going to get my own, and I'm going to prove that I should get my own, and I will be on the field. And it just goes back to what we're talking about. He's going to get paid. Hopefully it's by the Broncos. I believe the Broncos are going to pay Malcom Roach. But if not, he's playing so freaking good. He's going to get paid by he's going to get his money. He's going to get his. And so he's just embracing this right now of being on a great defense.
I can hear Marvin Mims right now saying, like, yeah, I bet you don't want to be on the field every play.
So let's hear from Malcom talking about Marvin Mims, because we finally got a full wrap on this conversation. And before we hit that, remind you to come to the bar tonight for Benny's film breakdown. Actually, just 3 hours and 18 minutes away. So be here at 6:30 at the DNVR Bar.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. So be here tonight and also become a DNVR Broncos tailgate die-hard tier. You can upgrade from the base tier to this one, or you can just become this for $89.99. It's not only going to get you all of our coverage for being a die-hard, but it's also going to get you 2 tailgate tickets, 1 for you, 1 for a guest, and also a free shirt. And if you upgrade from the base tier to this other tier, you're going to get a free shirt right away. So make sure to get in. Go to thednvr.com/intro to get this offer. Let's actually hold Roach for just a little bit, because let's get to the serious stuff, because it's good. Here's some more good news. I believe all of the injury news is good for the Broncos. Dre Greenlaw, yesterday Sean told us he thinks he's fine, going to do more testing, but he thinks he's fine. Today, it was proven that he was fine. I think. I hope. Still cross my fingers. Dre Greenlaw was out on the field. He did warm-ups. He did walk through, and he was jogging around, running around with the team. Such a good sign to see. No brace, no sleeve on him. We found out today it is a quad injury, but Sean Payton made it very clear it's a different quad injury than the one he had in the spring, which I do believe is good news. And Sean said he'll be ready to go next week, but he'll definitely be ready to go for the joint practice against San Francisco, which is 6 days away from now, which I'm fired up to see him in, but he could be back as early as Monday.
So I know that he wants to practice against the 49ers.
Yes, he does.
So I don't know if I can keep him out of that. But I think I would just bubble wrap him.
Oh, I completely agree.
We'll see you week 1.
Yep. I've seen enough in the first week of camp where I know he's good.
Yeah.
And he's ready to go.
By the way, you want to give an Alex Singleton update, and then I'll talk about the 2 linebackers?
Yes, so Alex Singleton has gone from a cast on his thumb to now just a brace. So he's good to go. The time frame is still he'll be back for the joint practice against the 49ers.
And I'm guessing, like I'm not a doctor, but I'm guessing you put the brace on there because you want oxygen getting to the incision so that it'll heal faster.
I wouldn't have thought of that, so you're more of a doctor than me.
Okay, so we just talked about Dre Greenlaw was on the sidelines and Alex Singleton was on the sidelines.
Yep, one more guy. Do you
Well,
want to give to him, or do you have something?
no.
Okay.
Defense was dominant
Oh, yeah. Oh, good point.
without their starting inside linebacker group.
Yep. Very dominant.
That says a lot about that group.
And
So is Lavelle Bailey and who?
Justin Strnad.
Justin Strnad, of course, my guy.
Yep,
Those guys can play.
they can. This team is legit 4 deep. And maybe even 5 with Drew Sanders, but we know that he's actually going to miss some time. Lavelle Bailey, Sean just keeps talking about great things. He said Lavelle Bailey's so smart that the amount he was able to learn from year 1 to year 2, it's a night and day difference in the player he is right now, and you see it on the field. He's huge. Sean said earlier this week that he looks like an NFL linebacker, and he certainly does, but he's got the brain for it too, which is absolutely huge. We know that this franchise has a great history of undrafted linebackers. Lavelle Bailey really appears to be that next guy. They truly believe it inside the building after talking to some people. Justin Strnad, we know exactly what you get with him, and it is a very trustworthy player.
And it's gotten better every year.
Yep. And also Malcom Roach, when talking about Lavelle Bailey, today said, we know 56 is going to play for us this year. And we know we can trust him, which is
56
huge.
Broncos linebacker.
My goodness.
Jacked.
Oh, my goodness.
Taking me places.
Yes, it should take you places. One guy that was not out there was Q Robinson, and he hasn't been out at a couple of practices. Speaking of huge, Q Robinson should probably be a basketball player. He is so big. But we saw him today, and he was wearing a brace on his knee. Sean Payton said it's a bone bruise after practice, which is good news. He expects him back next week as well. So Broncos seem to be getting the injury bug earlier this week, and it appears to be nothing. Nothing to see here outside of Drew Sanders. So actually through 9 practices of camp, really good news on top of the Broncos just being absolutely incredible on the defensive side.
Last injury update.
I think that's it.
Oh, Q was it. Yeah.
I believe Q is it. Other takeaways from today that you have to know. Nick Bonitto was just unstoppable. Continues to be unstoppable. He looks so freaking good. And I think we really hit everything when it comes to the field. How
unstoppable do you think Nick Bonitto would be if, say, Micah Parsons was on the other side?
Oh, man. That would... how much are you paying to that? $70 million?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. That would be... I can't even imagine.
So
Although I can't imagine Micah Parsons being better than Jonathan Cooper so far in camp. So far in camp. He's been the best pass rusher the Broncos have had so far.
So you can't imagine Micah Parsons being better than Jonathan Cooper.
So far.
Henry said Nick Bonitto's the best football player on earth at one point. So I guess, just start making the rings now, I guess.
Should they trade?
Yes.
What are you willing to give up?
I don't know. I'm willing to give up a lot. Because
so it's got to be one of the pass rushers you currently have.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to give up Bonitto.
Okay, so Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, but I even think that's kind of rare. Like now, it would be enticing to the Cowboys to be like, oh, you don't even have to worry about a contract with this guy. He's already under contract.
Yeah, it's true. You don't want to pay $40 million for Micah Parsons. You can pay $15 million for Jonathan.
But
Cooper.
if you look at like what happened with the Khalil Mack trade, it was just all picks.
Yeah.
And I would give up a lot of picks.
For
Micah Parsons. But you could make the case like you don't need him.
Yeah.
Now that would be crazy to me, but Nick Bonitto is on like a Micah Parsons-esque rise.
He really is.
Imagine just putting actual Micah Parsons on the other side.
That would just be insane. And then he's getting one-on-ones every single play. Zach Allen is now getting one-on-ones way more. John Franklin Meyer getting one-on-ones even more. That would just be crazy. It is wild how the Commanders are letting this Terry McLaurin situation get to where it is, and the Cowboys are allowing Micah Parsons to get this situation to where it is. I know Courtland Sutton, he missed the offseason program last year. That, you don't want to see it. It's not ideal, but he was back for training camp. They did not let it get bad. In fact, Courtland said like it might be his final season with the Broncos after 2 years ago, but that was it. There was no like hate that was coming out between the two sides. This is something we just have to take a step back. And when we see it from other teams, just be thankful that that does not happen here. And it's not going to happen with Zach Allen. It's not going to happen with Nick Bonitto. John Franklin Meyer is the guy that has been the most vocal about it. And Ryan, he's not a massive contract sort of guy. So it doesn't get to that level with those guys. You're thinking about Micah Parsons. Terry McLaurin?
Nope.
No,
I mean, I would love it, but to me, that one doesn't make sense monetarily after you just gave Courtland all that money.
Totally. I completely agree.
You could say the same thing about pass rush, but pass rush, I almost feel like you can invest an infinite amount in pass rush.
Isn't that what is what George Payton said? I think
he said you can never have enough pass rushers.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's probably very unlikely. If you're George Payton, you're definitely calling. And that's also something George Payton said when he first got here. He said, we will be in on every deal.
All right. If you're calling the Cowboys, what's the price?
You're definitely calling. Now, I bet you the Cowboys are saying, like, we're not trading him. Hang up.
Yep. Or they're like, to the Cleveland Browns, we might, because they might have the first pick next year or something like that. Maybe
True.
not the Browns, but bad teams.
Someone in the comments said 2 firsts, JFM, and Q Robinson. You doing it?
Nope. I'm not giving up 2 firsts for a guy that I'm paying $45 million.
Oh, I don't know.
You would do that?
I just think you're winning a Super Bowl if he's on the team.
I don't think this defense needs him.
They don't need him. That's actually a great point.
They're going
to be the best defense in the league already.
That's crazy. What a great position the Broncos are in right now. Okay, speaking of this defense, let's get to the Malcom Roach, Marvin Mims conversation, because what was it, Wednesday, I believe, Marvin Mims was asked, this defense talks a lot. What do you think of that? And he said, no, this defense doesn't talk a lot. Malcom Roach talks a lot. And essentially, actually, his words, he said, he sits next to me in the locker room. He never shuts up. He just keeps talking and talking. And I tell him, you're fat. Just worry about that. And just straight up, just like that.
Crazy thing to say.
DJ Jones, we talked to him yesterday. Somehow DJ Jones, one of Malcom Roach's best friends, did not hear this quote. Had no idea about this.
DJ's locked in.
Exactly. He doesn't even know what day it is of the week, because he says, I just want to just stay focused on what I'm doing. And we said, well, do you know what day it is now? And he said, no. And we said, we're not going to tell you because we don't want you to know what day it is. He said, thank you. I'm going to stay locked in on not knowing what day it is.
He's like me at the casino.
Exactly. You don't know what hour it is.
Time, day.
If it's day out or not.
What are you talking
So Malcom Roach had heard about the comments. And we want you guys to hear Malcom Roach's response to being asked about being called fat by Marvin Mims. Here's what he said.
Y'all think I'm really worried about 19, bro. I see him every day. His locker right by mine. He talk y'all think I talk. He really talk more than me, but I ain't worried about Marvin. Because Marvin know he not about to cut that ball back across the middle. That's all I really have to say on that. And Marvin like a mosquito, bro. Like, he need to worry about that. I could lose this way. He can't change them looks. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so that's all I got to say about Marvin.
Marvin Mims is like a mosquito. He need to worry about that. He said Marvin, he knows he's not going to cut that ball across the middle of the field because big Malcom Roach is there.
Also, I'm with Sean on this. In terms of defensive linemen, Malcom Roach is not fat.
Oh, no. It's crazy. I thought the exact same thing. He's a refrigerator of muscle.
Yep, exactly.
It is so crazy. He was also asked, or he brought up J.K. Dobbins. We talked about yesterday how J.K. Dobbins is a dog on this offense. He is the talker on this offense, and it really emerged yesterday. Malcom Roach was going back and forth with JK during Wednesday's practice, and that's when we really saw it. Malcom Roach absolutely loved it. He singled him out and said, I love that JK is talking. The offense, he said the offense finally has that guy to chirp. And if he's saying that, we want to say that, but we don't want to be like disrespectful to other guys on that offense. But he says it. It just shows just how important that is to have that guy.
Totally. I mean, you need a punchback.
Yeah.
You need someone on that offense who's not going to take it. And honestly, if I was JK, I would be looking around like, who else? Who's with me?
Yep.
It caught a lot of national flack for this, but there was a fight at a Buffs practice. And like, it was like 2 offensive guys versus like 8 defensive guys. Coach Prime freaked out, not because they were fighting, but because not enough offensive players went to go have their guys back. He said, if one of us fights, all of us fight. And I, of course, loved it. But like, that's kind of how I feel about like, if I'm JK, I'm like, hey, who else is coming with me here? I'm going into battle.
Yep. And that's that the Broncos need more guys, and they have the dudes, especially on the offensive line. Maybe the offensive line was too locked in, but Quinn, I'm not going up against him. He's a scary dude. Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers. I mean, they have the guys on the offensive side. And I loved hearing that from Malcom Roach. Another thing that I loved hearing from Malcom Roach, he's incredible. And such a likable guy. But this was his first time on the podium. He's been here for 2 years now, and this is the first time that the fans have got to hear from him, just because he's a 6th man of the year, as he would call himself, on the defensive line front 7. I asked him about like chirping and talking, and has that always been part of his game? And he said, I grew up in Louisiana. Everyone in Louisiana does that. And then he went to go on and say, I'm not just talking trash. I'm yelling at Courtland that he's the best wide receiver. I'm yelling at Quinn Miners that he's the best. I'm telling Pat that he's the best. Jaquan that he's the best. So he said it's not just all trash talk. I'm just a loud guy that likes to yell, that likes to get people fired up. It's contagious, but I'm also telling people good things as well. It just sounds like I'm yelling because I am.
It's like leadership.
Totally.
He knows he's pressing different people's buttons.
Yep.
Maybe he's feeding one guy confidence because he thinks he needs it. Maybe he's pushing another guy, trying to get him riled up because he thinks he plays better when he's riled up. Like, I love it. That, to me, every team needs like 3 of those guys, not just one.
Yep, 100%, and that's starting to bleed over to the rest of the defense. You're starting to see more guys talk, and a guy that we haven't seen a ton yet, but that's going to be that number 2 is Dre Greenlaw. And I'm so glad that we got good news on the injury front from Dre, because he is going to be such an important part of this defense. And J.K. Dobbins is going to be big. All the signings the Broncos have made are going to have huge roles on this team. Hufanga with the interception today. Dre Greenlaw, we know what he brings. Evan Ingram, potentially your number 1, number 2 leading receiver this year. And J.K. Dobbins, Ryan, even with R.J. Harvey flashing on Wednesday in practice, turning Sean Payton's head in practice, it's still J.K. He's still the lead back. That could change with time, but as of right now, he's still that guy. So that's something to keep your eye on. I truly believe that Riley Moss has kind of locked down this outside corner spot. Jahdae Barron, though, he did make a really good close down on Bo Nix today. It was a read option. Bo Nix took it, and Jahdae ran across the field, would have tackled him with like a 1-yard gain. So it was good to see a flash from Jahdae there.
Love it.
And any final thoughts? Do we have any super chats here? I want to make sure that we are towing the line of getting you to Buffs.
I was going to say,
right away.
You're thinking to yourself right now, like, man, I wish I could just hear RK talk for another hour.
That's what I always wish.
DNVR Buffs live in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
So you talked Broncos for an hour here. Yeah, you can leave.
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to
So
say.
you're talking Broncos for an hour now, Buffs for an hour, 2 hours off, then you're with Benny.
Yeah, 2
Boom.
hours. 2 hours off, I'm going to take advantage of.
Yo, at the bar?
Yeah.
I love that. Let's go. Crumble Cookie says, dare I say Nick Bonitto is better than Prime Von Miller?
Stop.
Yeah, dare you
But
say that.
He's just making jokes because earlier he said he's better than Micah, Trey Hendrickson, and TJ Watt combined.
Great point. Yeah.
But Henry said he's the best football player in the world. So
Yeah. He's been really good. Jonathan Cooper has led the team in tackles and tackles for a loss and sacks so far in camp.
Think about that.
It's crazy. With Zach Allen also doing really well. It's incredible what they're doing. I think DJ Jones had like a 5-yard easy tackle for a loss today. This defense is so good. And that's why I'm really curious, Ryan, next week to see how this defense looks against the 49ers, how this offense looks against the 49ers. I wouldn't be surprised if the story out of next week is, oh my gosh, this Broncos team is so good, because we see the offense win and then we see the defense absolutely dominate. That is for next week. We got one more show this week. Tomorrow, the Broncos are practicing, having a scrimmage. We're going to go live right after that, right around 2 p.m. So stay tuned. We're going to go live as soon as it ends. That's going to do it. Ryan, go get to Buffs. Get to the bar tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. DNVR Broncos Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.